I am always excited about making videos. I love the paranormal. I love the freaky deaky, the horror. But this alien and UFO stuff at the moment is making me feel like a child. It really is. And I know I act like a child most of the time, right? Especially my paranormal reactions. But I remember when the X-Files came out. Am I recording? I hope I'm recording. Right, good, because this was really deep, right? I remember when the X-Files came out, and I was 13. I had to Google it when the X-Files first came out. And yeah, so I was 13 years old. And back then, I just thought of UFOs and aliens being a very fictional thing, right? A very science fiction that we would, especially in my lifetime, never find out whether aliens existed. It was just more like a dream. Like, I hope aliens exist. Wouldn't it be amazing if aliens existed? What would they look like? How intelligent would they be? Would they be friendly? All these sort of things. And the X-Files was just a little bit of a taster to knowing what it would be like if aliens were around us. And since covering aliens and UFOs, this just made me so happy, because that child of hoping that aliens will be real, would be on Earth at some point, or we could interact, or we'll know the truth, right? The truth is out there. So yeah, I'm really happy, because we are slowly finding more and more information that proves, or it's weighing towards the idea that aliens and UFOs are legit and real. Okay? So, today's video, we're going to be covering two groundbreaking pieces of information that has just come out these last couple of days and today. All right? So, hot off the press, mate. And of course, come the end, we're going to be looking at some amazing UFO footage that you've never seen before. And I certainly haven't seen before. And mate, I'm telling you, it's like, what? It's so cool. It is so cool. Right. So, we're going to be covering Oma, or Oma, whatever it's called. Alien fetus found in Colombia, literally like yesterday. And let me start off with this. Okay, let's just start off with a bit of a bang. All right. When I first saw this, somebody emailed me this. Okay, and I was like, what? When I opened up a load of presents that you guys sent me, not from the other day, but the one before that, somebody sent me this. It's a UFO that is sucking up a cow, right? And listen, hang on. Right? It's brilliant. And my daughter last night, she says, Daddy, look. And she's only 6. The cow's got a magnet on it. And it actually makes a different sound. Look, when it sucks it up, listen. And then listen, when you power it down. It's a different sound if the cow is on it. Mate, this is so good, okay? Anyway, so, right, when I saw the video footage ages ago, I was like, this is no, that can't be true. So I didn't show it you guys. But then, when I received the toy, I'm thinking, well, hang on, this must be quite sort of, like, well known. So if you haven't seen it, mate, I'm going to show you it now, right? This is the cow abduction that I thought was just a pure joke, but clearly the Cow Chronicles, mate, Abduction Chronicles, this seems legit. This might be legit. So here it is, look. What, mate? Mate, are we actually... What is going on here? When I first saw this, I laughed. I was like, this gotta be fake. And then that toy, now I'm looking at it in a whole different light.
Campo, lamentablemente el gobierno se quiere apropiar de todas estas tierras para hacer un basural y la verdad que es una lástima porque es lo único que queda de vegetación en esta zona. ¿Viste eso? ¿Viste eso allá atrás?
What the... Mate! What? What? That's mental. That is absolutely mental. I would love to know what he was talking about beforehand, before that went down or went up. Okay, so let's get into the alien technology, alien spacecraft, Oma, right? Or Uma. Harvard astronomy professor Avi Loeb, I think that's how you pronounce his name, thinks he has new evidence of alien spacecraft, okay? Last June, he recovered small magnetic spherules from the Pacific Ocean and claims that the small, round objects were from a watermelon-sized object that collided with Earth in 2014. In other words, a piece of alien-built technology, right? It raises the possibility it may have been a Voyager-like meteor, artificially made by alien civilization, Loeb said on GBH's Boston Public Radio on Monday. But a load of people sort of kicked back and said, no, it's just this, right? So listen, he first put out a preprint with his findings last summer. Since then, several researchers unrelated to the expedition have pushed back on the analysis. One October 2013 paper deemed the spherules were made by human-produced coal ash. Right? Lowe put out new findings last week that he claims debunk that theory. So basically, he was like, "Oh yeah, it's coal ash, is it? Right." What we did is compare 55 elements from the periodic table in coal ash to those special spherules that we found. He said, and it's clearly very different, right? So he's like, "We'll have that, right? We actually did our research, mate, okay?" And it's funny because at the bottom he says, "It's not based on opinions," Loeb said. And of course, if you're not part of the scientific process and you're jealous of the attention it gets, then you can raise a lot of criticism, right? And then they said, "How do you deal with your criticism?" He says, "By now I've got skin like titanium," right? So he's used to the criticism. But this is quite interesting. I want you to just listen to this with me a little bit. This basically tells you a bit of the background story of what the Oma is and why he thinks that it's alien tech, right? Because things don't act like this, he says, pretty much in a nutshell. Listen to this.
Still, I thought, okay, well, it's probably a rock. But the people who discovered it already pointed out in the discovery notes that they wrote that in fact, the brightness of this object is changing by a factor of 10 as it's tumbling every 8 hours. And that implies, since we're talking about reflection of sunlight, which is simply the brightness is proportional to the area of the object in the sky that is intercepting sunlight and reflecting it in our direction. Mm-hmm. So if the object is tumbling and the brightness changes by a factor of 10, it means that the area of the object is changing by a factor of 10. And that is very unusual because previously in the solar system, variations were up to a factor of 3. So the object must have a very extreme shape. Just think about a piece of paper tumbling in the wind, even though it's...
Oh, okay. So he's talking about like the texture of this thing, yeah? So how much is actually reflecting light? And if you've got something which is, I don't know, rocky, yeah, only certain parts of it are going to be reflecting. But because it's reflecting so much, it has to be like a weird material or weird shape to it, right?
Very thin, that piece of paper. It's very unlikely for it to be exactly edge on. So if you want the area projected in front of you of that piece of paper to change by a factor of 10, you really need it to have a very flat shape. And then there was another unusual...
Right, so that's there. So it's got to be flat. So as it's turning, it's reflecting light, which is giving a factor of 10 out. Whereas most things, because it's not perfectly flat, can't give out a factor of 10. It's lower, I think.
Well, fact about it, that and that actually convinced me that it cannot be simple, the explanation for what its origin is. And that was that it was pushed away from the sun. There was an excess force acting on it, in addition to the force of gravity. And that was a repulsive force pushing it away. But there was no evaporation. No gas was found, no dust was found around it as a result of very deep observations with the Spitzer Space Telescope. They couldn't find any carbon-based molecules around it.
So this thing approached the sun, like did a detour and just went... But no, like, jet or anything behind it. What?
And usually the way that you can push an object is by the rocket effect. When it evaporates and the evaporating gases push it forward, and if they go backwards, just like a jet plane is being pushed or a rocket is being pushed. And since there was nothing evaporating from it, the question is, what is pushing it? And the only explanation that I could think of that seemed natural to me is the reflection of sunlight from it, being the force that is pushing it. But for that, the object had to be very thin, just like the example of the piece of paper we were talking about. And indeed, we are working.
So he's saying that if something's thin enough, light can actually push... Well, obviously, the light from the sun is a very strong light. So that could actually push something away?
NASA is working on using sails, light sails, that are pushed by reflecting light.
Wow.
And to propel an object. And so the only problem is nature doesn't make very thin membranes. And so I suggested, well, if that is the explanation, then it should be potentially artificial.
Hang on. So, right, this is weird, man, because I know that heat can push things. Yeah. But light can push things? What?
So that, and then on top of that, there was the origin of this object. It was at rest in the...
This shit makes me feel so dumb.
local frame of the Milky Way galaxy, which is called the local standard of rest. And stars are moving relative to that frame. The sun is moving relative to that frame. And this object was almost at rest in that frame. So the solar system was just like a giant ship that bumped into Oumuamua, which was at rest like a buoy on the surface of the ocean. And the question is, why would it be at rest when, only 1 in 500 stars was so much at rest? And so altogether, the fact that it was not propelled by evaporation, there was no jittery motion that you often see for comets that evaporate, and moreover, that it had such an extreme flat shape, suggested to me that it's not a rock. And of course, we didn't get enough data. We didn't have an image of it, but I just put forward this possibility because we have to leave it on the table. And the pushback was, of course, to say, well, it's a rock of a type that we've never seen before. And so one suggestion was that it's a dust bunny, a collection of dust particles 100 times less dense than air, that are being pushed like a cloud of dust very rarefied. And the problem is that such an object would not survive coming close to the sun because it will get heated by hundreds of degrees.
Yeah.
Then there was a suggestion, maybe it's a hydrogen iceberg, something we've never seen, made of hydrogen. And then when the hydrogen evaporates, it's transparent, we can't see it, so there is a rocket effect. And then the problem with that is that it wouldn't survive the journey in interstellar space. So another group suggested maybe it's a nitrogen iceberg made of pure nitrogen, like the surface of Pluto, but there are just not enough Pluto-like planets to account for a large enough population of such objects, nitrogen-based. So it remains a puzzle. And obviously, cave dwellers that find a cell phone would at first think that the cell phone is a rock of a type that we've never seen before.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually. If somebody lived in a cave, and they saw a cell phone, they would be like, that's a rock. Whoa, man!
And I'm just...
Maybe he's found a mobile phone from the future, mate. What the actual F?
The kid of the cave dwellers that says, let me look at it more carefully. Maybe, if you press a button, it might do something different than a rock. And it's just like the kid in Hans Christian Andersen's tale who looked at the emperor and said the emperor is naked. The emperor has no clothes. And all the adults in the room said, what do you mean? The emperor has clothes. You just can't see them. And in this case, the clothes are the evaporating gases from Oumuamua.
Alien technology. Wow. All right. I need to keep my finger on the pulse of this guy. All right. So, another breaking news. Oh, before we get into that, actually, bonus news, bonus info. All right. Apparently, the Pentagon are about to release their fifth explanation of what really went down in the Roswell incident, mate. Huh? The fifth, right? They're releasing more information or something, right? And it's happening in 2 days' time on the 7th of this month. Okay, I think it's this month. What are we in now? March? Yeah. So 7th of March, that's happening, mate. Okay. So finger on the pulse for that. I can't wait to check that out. Right. So somebody tweeted me this, which thank you so much to Leanne Launt. All right. We found a new potential alien. What the actual F, mate, right? Mummified fetus with elongated skull found in Colombia could be alien or tiny cave-dwelling humanoid that lived over 800 years ago, researcher claims. What? Mummified fetus? Look at this thing, mate. Look at it. A mysterious new fetal mummy has surfaced, and one veteran public radio reporter suspects it could be alien or a tiny humanoid from an ancient species. The alleged extraterrestrial has an elongated skull, slanted eyes, and an unusual number of ribs, at least according to the reporter, who stated that the body seemed to have 10 ribs on each side of the body compared to the human's typical 12. Images of the deceased being were delivered by an anonymous source via WhatsApp message to the reporter, Joseph Gojara, who said the mummy may have originated in El Cerro de los Enoros, I can't pronounce that, the Hill of the Dwarves in remote Colombia. Signs of the umbilical cord, usually found on terrestrial mammals, have fueled speculation that the alien mummy could be related to the infamous remains of the alleged cave-dwelling tiny humanoid discovered in Peru. Skeptical scientists, however, have maintained that both specimens are likely stillborn and all too human fetal remains. Fetal remains looking like that, mate? Really? Look at the eyes. That's not human, man. But the new find may keep hope alive for frustrated ancient alien hunters following a recent blistering analysis by forensic archaeologists who concluded that the alien mummies presented before Mexico's Congress last summer were man-made. Oh yeah, we're talking about the one that looked like a cake. yeah, I know. I just think that looks really similar to this one here, mate. Okay, given this is this hasn't got 10 ribs, okay? But it is very, very similar. And what's really weird about it, because I've read a bit further forward, where is it? Listen to this. This is what made me link it with something else that I spoke about the other day. And I don't know, it might be something totally different, but listen. The researcher Gilda Morrow from Colombia said that she had news of these beings since the times of the Spanish conquest. And when I read that, I was like, Spanish conquest? Spanish conquest? Where have I heard that before, right? Where have I heard that before? And then it occurred to me. So the other day, I did a video about the secret to the UAP alien technology. Right? That's the video title. It was about the Bet sphere. And in that video, I read out this. I'll read it out again quickly. On March 27th, 1974, the Betts family investigated a small brush fire near the residence in Fort George Island, Florida. The family of three, Antony, Jerry, and son Terry, came across a small metal sphere the size of a bowling ball. Their first thought was the sphere had been a cannonball left from New World conquistadors. All right? And when I said that at first, I was like, conquistadors? I don't know what that is. And I got a load of comments from you guys saying that the conquistadors were the explorer soldiers of the Spanish and Portuguese empires of the 15th and 16th century, right? What I'm trying to say is the Betts family saw what they thought was a cannonball from the conquistador era, right? The 15th century, 15th to 16th century. But it turns out, actually, the Betts family now say it's alien technology, which I think that it could be how the UFOs can propel themselves through the skies, right? Because this thing has a mind of its own. And then you're talking about this, the reporter saying that it could be a civilization, a group of people that lived back in those days. So on one hand, you're saying that a reporter saying that these little mini people lived with us around about that era. And then you've got the Betts family saying, we found this technology around the same sort of time period. Right? Hang on a second. Google Maps. Colombia. Florida. Colombia. Mate, I've cracked it. Mate, I've cracked it. I barely cracked it, mate. I've cracked it. I've cracked it. It's a bloody alien, man. Oh! Wait! And they could be the little aliens that are flying those little mini saucers that I keep on showing you, which confuses the hell out of me, right? I'm seeing UFOs flying about everywhere, and then they drop those little pods, yeah? They drop those little mini UFOs, little flying saucers flapping about everywhere. And I remember I've said to you before in other videos, it must be some sort of little alien flying around on it, okay? And it must be those things, those little 6-inch dudes, right? And then also I'm thinking now is, you know, the sphere, it's the size of a bowling ball, okay? But when you see the big UFOs, they've got massive ball things underneath there. So I just thought, well, it must be the same sort of technology, but the bigger UFOs have got the bigger balls to fly, like to catapult them around. But the bowling ball could be the ones for the little mini UFOs that the little dudes are flying. Oh my God, mate. Oh my God. Right? This is mental. This is why I love this stuff, mate. Anyway, okay. I want to finish off the day with some epic footage. I'm gonna save some footage. I'm gonna save some. Right, okay. I want to show you this because this is incredible. And I'm so glad I found it again. Well, I haven't found it. Somebody sent it to me again on emails. And guys, if I don't call out your names on the emails and stuff, I'm so sorry. But I get emails and links and tweets, and I can't keep up with all of the names and stuff. I am literally just going through it, right? So thank you. But look at this, man. Look at this.
Mira, esto es como un extraterrestre, algo así.
Wait, when it zooms out. Wait.
Una bola de candela en el aire, mira para eso tú.
Wait, it will zoom out in a minute. Look at that! What are we actually seeing here? What are we seeing here, ladies and gentlemen? Look at this! I know you may have seen that before, but I what?
Y a plena luz del día.
¿Tú te imaginas que los marcianos, como en el cha-cha-cha, donde aterrice sea en La Habana, qué impresión se llevarán de la Tierra?
Mate, that's mad. That is mad. And look at this one as well.
It must be about 3,000 feet up now, I'd say.
Look at this. Look at this. Look at this, man. Look at the material of it.
Wow, look at that.
And look at that.
Nobody's gonna believe us except I got it on film, huh? I keep losing it. There it is.
Mate.
There goes a jet right by it, but a little higher.
A jet goes
There's
right
jet.
by it.
And there's the
Look at that.
saucer.
Mate, and that, and I saw this, which makes it look similar. I'm gonna save the best till last, man, and tell me what you think. But look at this one. Look at this one. Right? This is mental. This is absolutely mental. Bang.
All right, as we can see, it is bright out here today. There's something there that doesn't really look.
You think, it's just a balloon, mate. Wait till he zooms in.
Where is it? Trying to zoom in on it. There it is. Now, is that a star?
What is that? What is that?
There's something different.
Look at that. It's the same sort of shape. Look! What the actual F, mate, are we seeing here? It looks like it's spinning. That thing's legit spinning, mate. Mate, I'm convinced there's something up in the sky. I'm convinced there's UFOs, mate. You can't have billions and billions and billions of footage of UFOs and them all being fake. Okay, maybe there's an exaggeration there, but you know what I mean. Wow, good zoom, mate. Good zoom. Look at that. Now, I do know that when you zoom in on things, especially on mobile phones, it can distort the image, right? It can look blurry, it can look shiny and stuff like that. Because you've got to get the right like f-stop and everything. You know, it's difficult. I know. But that is that's like silver. It looks silver. That's it, mate. Go on, slow down. Take your time. You got it. You wait till the last video that I'm going to show you.
Yeah, it's hard to focus on.
Next video, right? Be the last. That's it. Go on. One more time. Right there. Right there. Come on. That's it. By the way, I'm going to get myself a telescope. All right? So if there's any people out there who recommend any good telescopes, put it in the comments, please. Like a pretty good... I don't want to spend thousands, you know, stupid amount of money, but I want a half-decent one, you know, to start looking up. And I'm going to live stream it. I'm going to be starting looking for UFOs. That's it. It's final. Wow. Look at that. There you go. There you go. There you are. Look at you. That is a spinning silver object. Perfectly still. And there's like it's moving because of he's shaking. But that is spinning, mate. Is it? Right, okay. I just wanted you to see that because I thought that was amazing. Okay. Check this out, mate. Man gets attacked by a UFO. And like, look, this could be fake as F. But imagine if it's not. Right? Imagine if this isn't fake. Check this out. Oh.
Oh my god, that's cool. The hell is that? Oh my god, I never saw.
What? Oh, mate, that goes straight down. That goes straight to him. Oh, I don't know about that actually, mate. I think that I don't know. That might be fake as F. Might be fake as F. What do you think? Anyway, there you go. There's some updates, some alien stuff today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you liked it. And if you did, please subscribe because we're going to be covering more of it. Take care. Bye-bye.